Hello, guys. All this fog around me is a symbol of not knowing where we are going. We see the first trees at the background, but we don't know the whole path. We don't know what's waiting behind the trees. We don't know how this path is gonna reveal itself in our life. We've been talking about many steps to take in order to make the giant leap in the coming year, and majority of you watching these videos are the ones who already know this leap is imminent, and they feel it, they know it. It's the knowing. And if you know this, and if you feel it deep inside your body and in your intuition, then it means that you are in the final stage of manifestation. It is important because maybe all of us watching these videos are not aware where we are at the current step, and maybe everybody does not feel it that way. Maybe everybody does not know it that way, that concrete feeling that you would have. And for those ones, I would like to present what are the stages of coming into knowing and what each stage would reveal. It is the kind of way that we are brought up by society. And while we are brought up by society, we are imposed certain rules. These kind of rules define everything, how we behave, who we are actually. We take them as part of our personality. We are proud, we are the kind of way, and vice versa. So, when you think about it, we become somebody who fits nicely into the frame. Because our main need at that moment of our life is to fit in and to be accepted and to be secured for our future. And in the ancient tribes, they made a so-called vision quest, or let's say a ritual, for a boy to become a man and for a girl to become a woman. This was ceremony where they defined their path forward, how they're gonna contribute to the tribe, what's their personal path, what is there that is waiting for them. They also have to pass certain tests in order to become that. This was not to enforce something upon them, but to wake them up and start becoming independent and responsible for their own path. In the modern society, we do not have such rituals unless your family still holds a ritual like that. But majority of us, we never had those kind of rituals, and majority of us stayed in the phase of a boy or a girl. And we got married like that. And we had kids and everything. And this is how then these patterns from childhood and all this, we pass them forward. And it's a problematic kind of way of life. So when you become a man or a woman, usually you change priorities in your life. Usually you value life from different kind of perspective. Usually you have different kind of values, etc. Maybe some basic values stay, but majority will change. And while we start our life as boys and girls, and we don't have this ritual to pass on to the adulthood, many of us get lost. Many of us never start thinking, is there more for me out there? Is this it? What can we do? But also, some of us have this fire burning that asks exactly the same questions. That asks, is this it? Are we really sure? Is this something I'm happy with or not? I was one of the lucky ones where the fire was still burning and where it might be a candlelight actually, but there was fire and there was potential to make huge burning inferno out of it. And we only needed gasoline to be poured and everything would blow up. And you know how it is, life gives you gasoline all the time. So it was a dangerous situation. And because of this little fire burning there, I always felt that I'm not honest to myself and that I'm not honest to others. And somehow this little fire eroded the protection cocoon that I put around it, because it was bothering me that it doesn't leave me alone. And so I started to wake up and I started to ask these questions, is this it, and things like that. So I call this phase a belief phase, a belief that there is more for us, an idea that there is more for us. I believe we all have something more in our lives to do. I believe we are all destined for something more. It's just the question, do we find it or not? And so I started my vision quest in the way of searching for my life purpose. And the search for life purpose took some time, of course, because you actually need to figure out who you actually are, what do you actually want. And after a while, you've got the first definition and you start from there. And then this life purpose evolves through the next phases. And, you know, some people are lucky and get it right the first time, but we all start in the right direction and we just need to, follow it, and we come to the final version. And it's not about having a final version that we should be proud of. This could be evolving through the whole life as we get to know ourselves and how we actually will execute this life purpose and what are the actions that we're gonna take to make it happen. So the belief is the first phase where we do the ritual that should be done early in life, later in life, where there are already many things working for us, many obligations and things like that. Yeah, that's how Western society is. And then we find ourselves, and then we know if we want to make this life purpose a reality, we should take some action. And at that stage, we usually believe that then, because we define this, and because we already have a stable job, and we have children, we have families and all this, that having an additional life purpose means additional work. And that we are already late, that we should start running and everything. But it's not like that. It's this, how can I say, hope phase is the phase where you are looking for all the kind of executions of this life purpose that would interest you, that you would find yourself to be you. You find different kind of courses, you start usually meditating, you start reading these alternatives and the books, self-help books, all these kind of things. You start making research And through research, then you find some indications what could be interesting for you. And this is very good phase and very interesting phase, but one of the most difficult, because you could have a long phase like this, you could have many ups and downs. People tell you, are you sure? You know, everything around you starts crumbling because you're going against what you were taught, and you're going against what other people want from you. And in this phase, you could actually lose your friends, you could lose even your family. You never know. Many things can happen. But the search has started. The biggest jeopardy in this phase is to stop and go back to what was before. Because going back to what was before for sure will make you depressed. It will make you unfulfilled because you sensed the possibility, you sensed the option. You are awake actually with this fire inside you. And I don't even imagine how it would be for me if I would go back. But many people do that because they want to conform, because it's too hard. Maybe all of them do not have possibilities I had in my life. Maybe there are so many reasons. But there are also many people who did not have what they needed to make it happen, but they made it happen anyway. There are so many of them, so brave. So they how to say, they conquered their fear. They went forward. They were independent. They worked 2 jobs, 3 jobs if needed. I'm amazed by them, and wow, they're really something special. And going through this hope phase, the most important thing to know is to practice discipline. You will lose motivation. You will not have this wish anymore. Sometimes it will be too hard. You need to pass through so many personal and general public kind of patterns you need to process, let go, make sure that you are aware of them. This is where you're waking up, because everybody's waking you up. Whoever you meet on this road of exploration usually wakes you up a little bit more. So yeah, it is a very nice phase. It's a difficult phase, but you know, if you are in this kind of phase, you will know listening to this video. And then, because of this discipline and because of the determination that you will be moving forward, regardless of what your path is, don't compare yourself to others. You start getting some proofs, some feedback from the universe that certain kind of, activities might be the ones that would be good to follow. I don't know, if you went on social media and start talking about certain things, you might get some feedback, might get some followers, this kind of thing. Maybe you get comments from people like, we like you the way you are. It's really good to see this on you. Look how much energy you have now. Look, you have changed. It looks better on you. You are more happy. You seem more happy. You lost weight. Whatever this is, whatever the consequences, you will start getting some feedback from the universe. I say from the universe because everything around us is the universe for me. And at that point, you start trusting. You start the faith phase. The faith phase is the phase where you believe that everything will work out. You surrender the how to the universe and you start listening to your intuition. You saw how this works on other people that were around you in the hope phase. And you know this works, and you just start completely believing and stop using your brain to figure out what you need to do or how it needs to be done in order to make it happen. It's too complicated, it's too big usually for you to comprehend. And many people do not come to this phase because it means that you need to give your destiny into the hands of something else. I call it the universe. And this is scary because actually it's all foggy all the time. You travel in the fog. What we see here is the first building and we see some trees. That's it. We don't know where it will take us. If going around that tree would be the good path, or is there some monster waiting behind that tree? We don't know that. And we also cannot calculate that. It's too complicated. It's too many options around. It's everything. How could we know? The only answer to this, which many people will tell you, is intuition. When you come to a crossroad and you have two options here, you will know by intuition which one to choose. Usually it's the hardest one, even if there are many, because your soul knows the shortcut to the final destination. And the shortcut to final destination is always the hardest, of course. So it will happen that we will not be ready to choose the shortcut and we'll take a bit route around just to gain some time and to process all this normally and by our pace, and it's okay. It does not matter. You are on the path and you will eventually come to the goal. So in that case, you start walking by trust, not by sight. You start walking by intuition and not cognition. You start allowing to be so-called 5D being, not 3D anymore, but you start evolving into 5D. That's how everybody understands what I'm saying. Otherwise, I could say to something else. And you are starting to see more and more proofs. People who are intuitive or who are more in touch with themselves will tell you that they saw a change in you. They will understand that you work from different bases. They will start being interested in you and they will start talking to you. They will talk to you differently. Different kind of people will come into your life. Many people will go away because they don't understand you anymore, or because they know that you got lost. And then comes the final stage, when you know how to listen to your intuition so good that it comes a moment when it hits you and say, whoa, what is this now? And it's the knowing that something interesting, big, magnificent is going to happen in your life. Because you've been investing so much into all of you. You've been putting so much effort into your growth. And you've done internal changes, not external. External does not show up yet at this stage. You've done so much. You are pushing so much and you are a different person. Now the universe has to show you that you are a different person because you are in different energy, different frequency, and the universe needs to align to this frequency. It just takes a while because we are here on Earth, and Earth is a quite dense 3D environment, and It takes a while, and that's why faith, that's why the knowing. And when you come to the knowing, then you know something will happen and your life will change. It will change in major way. You are scared at the same time as you are happy and excited. You don't know what will happen and when it will happen. You just know we are close. And after knowing, I still don't know what is there. But after knowing, I think it's just a person that you were born and that you start flourishing and that you have arrived and you you start living your potential finally. I will let you know when it happens for me what is there that lays ahead from this point we are currently at. And everybody think about it, what I just said. Maybe we still get some, kind of disturbances from our past, from previous phases, where sometimes we are in a bad mood, or emotions, different kind of emotions arise, and it's hard for us, but we are moving forward and we are happy to move forward, and we'll handle whatever comes. The fog is here, everything is complicated. That's why we leave the how to the universe and we just follow ourselves, what we are, express what we are, and be proud of it. You're great people.